Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be short and it's going to be sad, and it is not like a memorial video to Asha. It is just like an explanation of what happened for anyone who did not read what I posted on Twitter or on Instagram or in the community tab here on YouTube. I don't know if I can sit down and make our memorial video. I posted a picture of her on Instagram, or a video of her on Instagram earlier, and it brought me to tears. So I don't know if I could possibly go through and like find pictures of her and footage of her and compile it to sad music, because like just the idea of her, like just the idea of never getting to see her face again. I don't want to cry in this video. Anyways, so I wanted to explain what happened. So complete transparency, because I don't ever want to be dishonest with you guys. Me being dishonest would not help any of you learn from this experience, would not help me learn from this experience, and it would hurt your bond or your trust in me. So Asha is an African fat-tailed gecko. She was living in the gecko bookshelf, and I had her for over 2 years. This January started my 3rd year with her, so I have had her for 2 years and a couple months. And Asha was a stunted African fat-tail. She was really small. She was cute as a button, but she was small and she had a humpback. And her story goes like this. She was bred by a breeder, or born at a breeder, and basically the breeder saw her and said, like, it'll be easier for her if I euthanize her. And then the person who had Asha before me said, if she's eating, let her live and I'll take her. And Asha ate, so she took Asha and she named her Gidget. And I don't know how long she had her for, but she was full grown, so I'm guessing she was between 1 year and 2 years old. And then her previous owner fell sick. I think that was the story. And she could no longer care for her, so I said I would love to have her. And ever since, I think it was like the middle of January when I got her, we drove over. She was close, actually, which is surprising. Most geckos are nowhere near me, but she was only 15 minutes away. We drove and got her, and she was so small she could fit in a card box, like one of those little protective cases for like stacking your cards in. And she fit in it like perfectly, like stretched out, which is crazy. And she was a little skinny then, and so she still had some weight to put on. She was really difficult in the beginning. She would only eat crickets, and I couldn't get her to eat for like 3 weeks of having her, which I mean is fairly standard, but I was worried because she was a little small thing. And so eventually she ate, and then after a while of, you know, just trying to get her to eat things other than crickets, she eventually started eating mealworms, and she moved on to superworms, and well, small ones because she's small. And she also ate hornworms and waxworms, and then eventually she was just eating whatever I put in front of her. The only time I ever had a hard time with Asha, other than like when she wouldn't eat when I first got her, was after brumating last winter. She takes brumation a little bit harder because she brumates for a really long time. I'm speaking about her like she's still alive, which kind of hurts my heart, honestly, but I don't know how to talk about her in the past tense yet, so I'm not gonna cry. Moving on. She just had like really intense brumations, and I think it's because she was so small she would lose weight. She didn't get to a point that like I was really concerned about her, but she did get to a point where she was like just a little bit skinnier, a little bit slower moving. And then when she came out of brumation, I never noticed her ovulating really hard, and that's important. We'll get to that in a little bit. She would come out of brumation and she would start eating again, and she'd be fine. But this year, when she came out of brumation, she went back to not eating, and I was like, oh, she's probably ovulating. And I was like, I'm wondering if she's ovulating for the first time, maybe, because maybe she was too small the previous year to have properly ovulated. I don't know for sure. I never noticed ovulation in her. And the reason I didn't notice ovulation in her is because she died due to ovulating. So when her body was necropsied at the vet yesterday, the vet said that like her lungs looked clear, because I was worried like maybe she was getting sick, maybe she had a respiratory infection. There weren't any like obvious signs of it, but I was really concerned because she was dropping weight fast and she was getting really lethargic. And so I was afraid that like, one, parasite, but I didn't know how she would get it. I've had her for 2 years, but I was still very concerned that was a possibility. And I also thought, you know, she's perhaps has a respiratory infection. So when the vet looked, she said her lungs were clear, saw nothing wrong with her lungs. The only thing she noticed was that she had like a buildup of pre-developed eggs in her ovaries. So like she hadn't actually started to develop the eggs yet. It was like when you start to ovulate, or when a gecko starts to ovulate, and it like just blocked her up and killed her. And she wasn't egg bound or anything like that because she had never actually produced full eggs. Like she never got to the point where an egg was developed and then like wasn't capable of being passed, which is what egg bound is. No, she was just in the process of ovulating, and that's what killed her. And never have I ever experienced anything like that. I've only ever had one of my geckos lay eggs, and it was my rescue Aria, and I had to take her to the vet for it. Reproductive issues in geckos are no joke because their bodies are so little. So the vet said the only solution, if we had noticed this when Asha was still alive, would have been to spay her. And she said on such a small gecko, it'd be a really dangerous procedure, and Asha might not have made it anyway. Oh, by the way, I called so many vets trying to get Asha seen immediately. So I first noticed like serious issues with her Thursday, called the vet Friday morning, and they didn't have an opening till the following Thursday morning. So Saturday and Sunday she got worse. Monday morning I called every vet in my area to see if they treated exotics. I was able to find 5, which is crazy. And I got an appointment for Wednesday morning, and I was like, that's still too far away, so I kept calling, and then I got an appointment for Tuesday morning, but it just so happens Asha died Monday late afternoon. So it didn't matter. I had to cancel all those vet appointments and have her necropsied at my normal vet the next day. So I don't want anyone to have the perception that I didn't try my best, because I don't want to cry. Asha was my child. I just built her a brand new bioactive. I set it up specifically for all the things that she likes, because she isn't really into climbing, and she isn't really into anything except for like low bearing hiding. Like she likes to climb underneath of things instead of on top of things. So like I had a really cool piece of wood that was low and she could climb underneath of it. I had multiple hides. I picked out plants for her that wouldn't like that she couldn't like trample on because she likes to walk along the ground. I created it for her. It's built, it's in my room, it's set up, and I don't know what to do with it now. But that's beside the point. I'm sad she never got to see it. But anyways, I want it to be entirely transparent, and I hope that this experience, however horrible it was, may help anybody out there if their gecko is having a similar issue. In fact, someone commented and said that their gecko died like last week from reproductive issues as well. So it happens. So if it happens to you, or if it has happened to you in the past, or your gecko, I'm sorry. I know how you feel, and I'm sorry to anyone that is really saddened by this, because I am too. And I'm sorry to anyone who is disappointed, whether it be in me or just the situation. And I will miss her for the rest of my days. Damage control. That's not good. Just like melted off my makeup. Anyways, I'm gonna have to go fix this because I have to keep filming. I should have filmed this one last, but whoops. Thank you all for watching this very sad video. I'll see you guys in the next one with something much happier. Bye.